Hello, hello everyone. Hi. So my name is Jessica Walker, which is JAW. This is Jessica Advocates Wellness. That's what that stands for. And today I'm going to be talking about maternal depression. And I always get a glare on my glasses, but you guys are going to have to forgive me. Hi there, Ceylon. So what I want to talk about is postpartum depression, and I'm sorry, you guys, I'm trying to cover myself, but it isn't working. But anyway, so yeah, my name is JAW, and I am the head researcher and the president of the JAW Research Institute, which I created for to build awareness around motherhood. Oh my gosh, I hate the glare. I guess that's what I get for buying cheap glasses. But anyhow, I created this institute to research maternal health and to really just advocate for depression and postpartum depression within motherhood. Because I find so often that we are kind of ski skirting away from the topic at hand. I think there's a lot of things that are happening right now where we are bringing awareness to depression and awareness to mental health challenges, but not too many people are really touching on the fact that it really deeply impacts mothers and the impact at hand. So I scope about maternal health as well as financial independence. So today's scope is going to be about postpartum depression, and I wanted to share a couple of tips with you about postpartum depression and how it relates to motherhood and certain things you can look out for, as well as 3 things you may not have known about depression before. So number one, I want to let you know that PPD, which is postpartum depression, or PRD, which is pregnancy related depression, because you can actually go through depression while you're pregnant, is a common complication of pregnancy. So depression actually happens within the brain. Basically what's happening is your neurons aren't firing anymore as much as they used to. So I can go and deep dive into that because I'm really a psychology nerd and I love talking about the brain, but I will spare you this scope and I'll keep it simple and stick to the facts here. So just to let you know, that is a common complication of pregnancy is depression. And it's so funny because, and I'm going to tell you this little tidbit, and I swear I won't do any more psychology notions or facts on you in this scope. Actually, oh my gosh, now my brain's kind of going haywire here. So Freud is actually noted as saying that women were the highest population of not clients, but the highest population of mental health challenges. So if Freud could say that, right? And at that time, of course, they weren't really focusing in on mothers. But if women are the highest population that were dealing with mental health challenges at that time, then that has to say something about the way that our mothers internalize and the way that women really internalize mental health challenges. So just wanted to get that out there. So way back when they first started psychology and all that good stuff, behavioral health, all that good stuff, women were their primary focus because they were the ones that were going through it the most, which totally makes sense, right? Since the dawn of man, women have been giving birth to babies, but somehow we kind of escaped the whole guise of whether or not we are going through depression. If our body goes through a big change when having a baby, of course our minds and our brains will go through a change as well, right? And I think the glare is coming from my computer. Okay, that's a little bit better. So maybe I'll put my computer screen down so that way I don't get too much of a glare on my glasses. All right, so anyhow, that was a little side note. I always usually go off on a tandem. Hello. So yeah, stigma and discrimination is another big portion of postpartum depression, and the reason why a lot of women don't seek help. We have a lot of stigma that surrounds depression at whole, and really truthfully in the news, they usually put postpartum depression, hi there, they usually put postpartum depression as postpartum psychosis, which the two are not the same. So usually when you see depression being put out there on the news and the media, you usually see it as, oh, this mom, committed infanticide, which is basically killing your child. And that's not it. Postpartum depression actually comes on as something that you really truthfully, you can't even determine what it is. You just know that you don't feel the same. You know that you're off for some reason. You know that something's just not quite right. And you don't know how to pinpoint it. And you don't know how to explain it to someone else. But you know that it hurts. And you know that it's a deepening pain and something you really just can't describe. So If you are someone that you yourself are going through depression, or you know someone that's going through depression, I always say that our biggest thing that we could do is we have to recognize the signs, number one, and then number two, if you see a difference, I feel that I'm stressed and get mad. There you go. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You really, truthfully, the way that we internalize, and I'm going to speak from an African American perspective because I'm African American, the way that African American women internalize depression and really just bipolar and everything is that we get angry. We get mad. We get irritated. We're just like, oh my gosh. Someone takes our park. We're like, oh! We're like ready to kill them. And it's really, truthfully, it's something that's going on in here, and stress leads to depression. I don't think many people make that correlation. They figure, oh yeah, they tell you it's a chemical imbalance, but they don't tell you exactly what's going on. What's happening in your brain is that you're so overwhelmed and you're so stressed. What it's doing is it's actually depressing. It's depressing, and that's where the word comes from, I believe. I'm going to put my own little psychology on it. It's actually decreasing the amount of neurons that are firing. Darn, I don't have my picture here, but I could actually show you the picture if you look it up and just Google it. The picture of a brain, a regular brain versus someone that is depressed. And I have a glare. I'm going to take my glasses off because the glare is driving me crazy. Yeah, so in a regular brain, you see all of the neurons firing, and you see all of this activity, and you just see, and it's basically just kind of an X-ray of the brain, or a CAT scan, I should say, of the brain, and you see all the neurons. So in the brain that is depressed, there's a dramatic increase of neurons. There's nothing barely firing. And that's why you can't access your emotions when you're depressed. If you guys have ever seen that movie, Inside Out, I love that movie because it's an accurate depiction. I wish they could do that movie for moms, because it'd be totally different. It'd be like 50 million people running around in the brain like, oh my gosh, who's asking me for cereal? Stop calling me, everything else. But anyway, but that brain accurately depicts what's happening that movie accurately depicts what's happening within your brain. You have all of your emotions at your control panel, and if your emotions get lost, you can't access them. And you're totally really the only thing, you got to watch it. I know I was like, at first I didn't want to watch it, and I was like, I don't think I want to watch this. But then as I started as I was actually cooking while my kids were watching it, and then when you watch it, I don't want to give it away, but when you watch it, you'll see like some of the stuff, like some of her emotions start to fall away, and she loses some of her memories. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's depressed. I like instantly knew what was going on because I'm a psychology nerd like that. But anyway, so I think like a big piece of it, like I said, is that you got to recognize the signs within yourself. You know your body better than anyone. So don't allow a doctor, don't allow a nurse, don't allow, so-called quote unquote experts to tell you what's going on with you. It's up to you to understand and realize what's going on with you, because you live in your body every day. You've been born in it, right? And we're there. So, and they're just kind of going off of the generalized notion of what all other people are going through. That may not directly correlate to you. You may not be able to sync with that. And I'm sorry, my iPad's going to die, so I'm going to wrap this up. All right, so then number 3, like I said, postpartum depression is not psychosis. So don't feel like because you are saying I'm depressed or whatever that you're, oh my gosh, I'm crazy. Really, truthfully, everybody's crazy. Nobody's sane. That's really, truthfully, the real of it. And it touches everyone. I think if I could leave you with anything before my iPad dies, it's that it touches everyone. So no matter if you're a celebrity, if you're just a regular old Joe Schmo that just doesn't have a lot of money like me, that just really truthfully wants to help people, empower people. I'm a social entrepreneur, so this is what I do. I go out and I help people. I help primarily really moms, but I have a lot of dads that reach out to me that really just, they see their wives going through it. And it's funny because I asked my husband, what is it like to see your wife delivering a baby, because you got to think about it. Yeah, you're wonderful. Yeah, thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. Hopefully you come back again. I'm going to try to do my scopes every day. I fell off, girl. I fell so off. I wasn't even funny how much I fell off. I started scoping back when scoping came out, and yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to get back to it because I felt like God was just calling me out. God was calling me out this morning, and he was just like, Jessica, I told you to do something, and you're thinking it has to be convenient for you. I didn't tell you to be convenient. I told you to do it. Yeah, it's so hard to be consistent. Yeah. And that's kind of why God was like calling me out this morning when I was doing my morning meditation and prayer. He was just like, I didn't say it was convenient. I said for you to do it. So I was like, okay. And I swear it was like everything I looked at and everything I read was like coming up saying, it's not convenient. It's not convenient. Just do it. Just do it. So anyway, now I'm here. So, so anyway, I asked my husband, what it feels like to see your wife go through. Because if you think about it, when we have babies, we are going through a traumatic experience. I mean, that whole thing is traumatic. Number one, you are carrying another human being. You're sharing your blood, your air, everything with this other human being, not to mention your food, okay? You are gaining massive weight, so then you have a body image issue. you know, and then you have people that seem to be concerned about you, but really and truthfully, they're only concerned about your baby. So you're like, then you feel like, man, what am I, chopped liver? I'm the one having this baby? Like, yeah, right? So anyhow, it's traumatic. And you got to think, like, I'm going to use this and don't judge me. It's almost like being shot. Like, not to say that, but I mean, like, your blood is oozing. You don't know what's happening. You just know that something is happening to you. You're trying to figure out, like, what's going on. And people are running around you trying to, take care of you and the baby. And you're just like, you're like in a state of shock. And that's very traumatic. And I don't think a lot of people really put the emphasis on the fact that that's traumatic. Not to mention the fact that you have this human that's coming out of you that's going to depend on you for every single thing in their life. And you don't know if you're going to be able to handle it. And you don't know and you want to make sure this human is okay. And you really, you care more about this human than you care about yourself when you're the one bleeding on a table. So I'm sorry to get a little gory there, but it's true. So anyway, I asked my husband, what does it feel like to be on the receiving end of that, to see the person you love giving birth to and create or pushing out, another human being? He was just like, well, and we're going to do a podcast together because I don't know. Anyway, he's funny and he's a ding dong. So, and I just want to talk to him about that and kind of get the guy's perspective of how it feels to be on that other end, seeing all of that happen to somebody that you love, but then also wanting to, and excitement and everything and getting this. And I think that's why a lot of men faint. It totally is okay for you to faint while you see, your wife or your significant other giving birth. But anyway, all right. So anyway, yeah, it's very traumatic. And my husband said that it's hard and you're worried and you don't know what to do because you can't, your wife is screaming and, you're the cause for that screaming because, we really truthfully, we blame our kids, but they wouldn't be here if it weren't for us. We're the ones that did it. It's not their fault. We are the ones that put them here. So when I see moms that are angry or upset and irritated and everything, I'm like, girl, I get you. I got you because it's hard. But at the same time, they didn't ask to be here. The same way we didn't ask to be born. Our parents got together. They did their thing. And we were created. And we all are here for a purpose and a reason. So, and really, your kids are going to be your ride or die when nobody else will be there for you. So, all right. I'm going to end the scope with that because I think that's a great way to end it. So yeah, you guys, if you are struggling with postpartum depression and postpartum depression can happen all the way up to the age of 2. And really, truthfully, I think it's the age of 5 or maybe even past that, because once you get into the teenage years, I have a kid in college. So once you get into the teenage years, they really going to push you up the wall. So anyway, so yeah, it doesn't matter at what point in time you have your child. It can happen. My daughter is 19 months. Yeah, and it can happen. And it can happen all the way. And really, truthfully, I'm going to say it. I'm not a doctor. So, and I want to tell you guys to really truthfully consult your doctor or anything, because I'm going to do another scope where I will tell you how to deal with it if you're, so I'm sorry I can't do that this time because my iPad's going to die. But I will do another scope later on after I charge this sucker. So, and I try to make this lighthearted because talking about depression doesn't have to be depressing. I hate to when I go and speak, I usually try to do it lighthearted and as uplifting as possible, because it really is a downer, and it doesn't have to be depressing. It could be uplifting, empowering, because if you came through it and you battled it and you living through it every day, you got to have something to tell you, you can do this. Yeah, I will definitely, so follow me and make sure you're there. You can also visit my website at the JAWresearchinstitute.com, and you can sign up for my little free thingamajigger so you can get on my email list. Everybody's telling me to do that, so I'm doing it. So haven't had any success with it, by the way, but I'm going to keep doing it. Hopefully it'll help me doing these scopes. So, yeah, guys, know that you can be better. If I leave you with anything today, I want to leave you with that. You can feel better. I went through postpartum depression for want to say 10 years, really. I told doctors they were lying, that I didn't have it, because Black people don't get depressed. And I was depressed. And I battled it, and I came through it. And I'm here today helping other moms, and hopefully I can see you in person soon one day. All right. So see you guys all later. Oh, and tweet me at JAWspeaks on Twitter. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you spending some time with me today. Hi, my daughter's here. That's my daughter. She has a donut. Not good, I know. Shouldn't be feeding kids donuts. But hey, you know what? You got to have something. All right. Talk to you all soon. Bye.